في أكبر الكتب.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to your weekly dose of truth tarot. This week, we're at the 20th. I think I need a calendar. I can't see it. I'll write it out for you. So it's going to be the 20th to the 26th of May. All right. So last week we did, what's going on with dating, and a couple of people just kind of wrote to me and said that they were in particular dating circumstances, and how do they figure out whether the person is good for them or not. Now, those were females that asked that kind of question. It's very, very interesting that men and women ask very different questions. So men usually say, is she trustworthy? Is she chaste? They look for these qualities that endure over time. Women tend to look for transient qualities. So, does he have a good job? Is he making money? Will he, be supportive would be it's a transient quality as well, because supportive is fine. He could support, he could be supportive, but it's not a 24/7 activity. Whereas, the virtues like trustworthiness, honesty, those kinds of things, they can't be transient, otherwise they're worthless. So it's very interesting, the difference between men and women and what they ask. So with that in mind, I'm going to pull a card for men and see, what's going on for men and their intransient qualities. Intransient, okay? So here, there's a big struggle, obviously, for intransient qualities. So Two of Wands is, the way in which relationship operates is fiery. So if it's fiery, it's going to be difficult to trust. You have to control a fire to be able to trust it. So this would definitely be giving a warning to a man. If you have to control your woman, every single woman needs a little, anchoring once in a while. That's what the masculine does for the feminine. That's what men do for women. If you're, lesbian or gay, it's going to be the same thing. It doesn't really matter what body you're in. What's important is understanding that, it is important because your physiology will often determine your emotionality. So, women can have babies, and that creates a whole other can of worms that men don't have to deal with. And men have other objectives that we as women don't actually deal with. Now, of course, those categories can blur. There's nothing here that is ever completely written in stone. But if if you sit down and you're honest with yourself, you're able to discover these things on your own. These are not things that I necessarily figured out. They're not things that I was necessarily told. But if you go back through history, we know what feminine is. If you look through, thousands of years, the feminine is chaos, the masculine is order. We know that. We've always kind of looked at things like that and kind of going, that's kind of the way the women are. That's the way we are. Okay, that's fine. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. It's lovely. It's very much why men love us, except when it goes into the masculine. So this is what I've noticed for females. Now, because I'm talking about male here in a man looking for a woman, or if you're gay and you're, more the masculine looking for your counterpart that's going to be more feminine, even though they're male, these are things to kind of look out for, right? The things you need to look out for is, yes, they're fiery and creative. That's wonderful. But are they going off the handle and unable to anchor even when you are helping them to do that, right? So, for example, I'll give you a good example. Like, there are times I can be overworked, that my intuition is just, skyrocketing all over the place. My my spidey senses are going crazy. I am no longer on the ground. I'm under the ground. And I start to go a little bit wacko. I start talking and I'm saying things, and then there's all kinds of different emotions coming out of me. And my partner just looks at me and he just goes, okay, I see you're in a little bit of a crisis mode. I'm going to be here, right here for you, and just wait. And wow, just that phrase that I know he's there, he's waiting. He's got his hand out to me. He's not causing my nervous system to agitate any more than it is. He's just right there to comment. He's almost like a lightning rod. Here I am just like all over the place, and he just kind of channels the energy. Okay, so that's going to happen to most of us women. We go through this. This is what happens to us. And that's fine. So you've got somebody who does that, and they are able to, this is what I meant by control. Obviously, what my partner is doing sounds controlling, but it's not. He's just observing. He's taking a step, and it supports me. So that is a wonderful way of doing things. But if it escalates and goes on and on and on, you've got a problem. The individual you're with is no longer able to moderate their own emotions. They can't mitigate all of it, take care of it, and deal with it. They are just going off the handle. These are things to look out for. Now, for women, what is the cards going to tell us? Women, what do you have to tell us about women? All right, we got another male card. Fascinating. All right, why was it male? This is the Knight of Pentacles. All right, so I would say that what this is telling us is females, women out there, recognize when your knight arrives. Recognize when your knight arrives. But there's no advice more than that to women. Yeah, wow, temperance, oh my God. So considering what I said over here about what kind of woman, let's say a man would meet, and what he needs to do, whether he's going to control her or just support her, and that's enough. Because don't forget, women can also get very, very testy when it comes to someone helping them calm their emotions, calm their nervous system. Some women go, that's really controlling. So here you can see this moderation within the feminine. It's like, you got to moderate, girl. You really got to moderate. You've really got to, take that middle road. Pan metron ariston, which is everywhere and just a little. You're gonna be measured. Okay, measured in what you do. Now, that doesn't mean sometimes you go off the handle. Of course we do. That's just the way we operate. But we can come back real quick. Come back to the middle road. We don't have to go to the extreme and stay there. Whatever your extreme is, I know what my extreme is. And it comes, but I don't stay there. Oops, it came, I overdid it, whatever went on. And now I'm going to come back to the middle, and my partner supports me there. And if you don't have a partner, you need to start supporting yourself that way until you find that person in your life who's going to help you. And one of the things that will happen is, if you don't do it, you don't moderate your thinking, you don't think properly, because a lot of times women are more watery, which is shown in this card, which is emotional rather than thinking. There are plenty of women who think. Plenty of women who do. There are plenty of women who, do their research. But I do know many, many a bright woman who will state things and say, let's do a little work on this, but have not done their research on it whatsoever. And when they don't do the research, and I'm guilty of this too, I've listened to things. This is so much like TikTok brain and, people just going online and getting that information fed to them through the senses, especially through this phone, and we get that information coming in, especially women, we're very susceptible. We believe it. We believe it. So, we need ways to question it. You don't just listen to information. You question it. You don't like you hear all this information from me. It's my research, my years of study. I've been doing this since I'm 8 years old, and that's what 66 almost. So that's a long time to do all of this and to read and keep reading and researching and teaching and being questioned and questioning. So what I know is what I know. But it's very easy to kind of say, hey, lady, you know what? I have some additional information for you that could blow out of the water some of the stuff you think of. I'm like, great, tell it to me. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear it. And it's got to be based in, well, that doesn't really matter. I would research whatever someone told me. I'd look into it because it would sound interesting, wouldn't it? It would sound beautiful and interesting and amazing, right? This is kind of what I look at is information that's amazing. I'm not going to sit and defend anything I say. Whatever I've said, I've found it in places. Sure, I could misinterpret it. You could misinterpret me. I make only short videos. What we need to do is get together and collaborate just to make a better world instead of arguing and fighting and pushing, which this reading is really bringing to the forefront. Look at, it's just gorgeous. Here we've got this relationship in fire. So it tells us, hey, if you've got a good relationship, you got a person who's interesting, fun, but they've also got to be someone who's going to moderate themselves and recognize you for your worth. And this is women to men, because this is 2 males. And then it tells the female, all right, you've got to moderate. So these guys are doing their job, and the females need to moderate. Okay? So have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.